Hey everyone, we're just getting the stream and everything set up here real quick. Just wanted to have a bit of a brief discussion with everyone based on some comments recently and wanted to explain a few odds and ends. Just want to make sure, just making sure everything is working right on my end here before we go live with everything and start the discussion. If you do roll in, hey NES Attic, how you doing? Jay? All right, everything's looking good there. So I'll try to keep an eye on comments as much as possible. Going to play a little bit too while we're here, but just wanted to address a couple things that popped up in... Hi, Pine Top. I have a Pine Top down here. That popped up in a recent video and kind of why I did and do the things I do and whatnot. And for right now, we're going to just have... We'll go to Contra and have that playing in the background for a little bit. So, one of the things that I have been very consistent about has been the fact that I don't own any Everdrives. And in my recent review on the Gamerz Tek 8-bit boy, and actually all of my NES clones since about the second or third one that I did, I basically discussed in the video itself that I don't own an Everdrive. I just don't. And there's reasons behind it. There have been some comments made that are just incorrect, and I just wanted to straighten things out here. So, and I'm going to basically mention some quotes that are in here. First of all, from one individual said, so it's not your thing to give the best reviews. Got it. One of the most important things viewers want to know is whether an Everdrive will work on these clone consoles. Just because Everdrives aren't your thing doesn't mean you shouldn't have one, especially if giving viewers the best review is your goal. You do so many of these clone reviews, I can't see how having one of each Everdrive wouldn't pay for itself. Well, it just doesn't pay for itself, quite honestly. Not making a ton of revenue from the channel. Yes, the channel is basically self-supporting at this point in time, but there are a ton of different Everdrives out there, and the Everdrive term is basically used like Kleenex. All tissue is called Kleenex, even though it's tissue paper. There are different compatibility issues with different ones, and the most popular ones, the Acrylics one, I think is the one that I'm thinking of. Those go for about $125, and they've got great compatibility with different systems. I just don't have the spare cash to buy that one Everdrive to be able to test in everything. I'd actually rather spend, if I'm going to spend $125, $150 on an Everdrive, I'd rather take that money and buy 6, 8, 10, 12, however many actual physical cartridges on there. In addition, one of the things for me, since I set up the channel, has always been on any product reviews, should you buy something? Do you really want to invest in something? Is it worth the money? For me, the value of the Everdrive isn't there because I can duplicate what an Everdrive does so many different ways. I have my Wii, my Wii U, my NES Classic, my Super NES Classic, my 3DS with an R4 card. I have my, what else do I have? I've got my laptop, of course, my smartphone, my tablet, my nVidia Shield TV. I have a ton of different ways that if I want to play ROMs, I can. So for me, having an Everdrive, just really the value is not there. In addition, if you're playing on a clone system in the first place, a lot of times people are looking to do it as cheaply as possible or inexpensively as possible with an HDMI output. That customer, if you're looking to do it as cheaply as possible, a RetroPie, you can build a RetroPie and accomplish many of the same things as an Everdrive. There are Game Boy and Game Boy Advance systems you can buy that you can basically run emulators on and have the portability. And that's where the value comes into it. Spending $125 on an Everdrive, and at least in the case of the 8-bit boy, $100 to $110, depending on where you buy it from, the value isn't there. If you're looking to do portable emulation, and an Everdrive is a form of emulation. You're emulating the cartridge hardware, and it does so in a much superior way to any clone console. Let's just get that out of the way. Everdrives are amazing pieces of technology. I wanted to, one of the later comments down here was, not every gamer out there cares for Everdrives and the like. In fact, I could care less. I want to know if physical games and accessories are going to work. Gary does a fantastic job covering that. You're entitled to your opinion, but... Oh, wait, no, that wasn't the right one. I'm sorry. I can't find it here. I think it was lower. Bear with me for a second. Here it is. Let's see. Or not. Bear with me. Again, I'm sorry. Essentially, in a nutshell, someone had stated that I don't like the Everdrive and whatnot. You know what? I think the Everdrive is an important piece of maintaining video game history. For those who want to quickly and easily expand out their library, it is an easy way to do it. But there is the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Using an Everdrive is piracy. It just is at this point. Now, I'm hoping at some point in time that copyright law can change and that things that have been out of print 20, 30, 40 years, basically goes into open source or becomes public domain for the benefit of everyone, for maintaining basically the integrity of this hobby. And it is a hobby as well. One comment here, that's not... So let me back up for a second. If you look in the review of the 8-Bit Boy, and actually in a lot of systems, I cover right in the open. I don't own Everdrives. I don't have any. I don't have any intention of using one. And the reason why I put that out there is, if anything, I tend to be honest and transparent to a fault. It's not a snowball job. It's not a, these things suck and you should never buy one. No, I just don't own one. I don't have any intention of buying one. If you want to own one, go for it. Have fun. Have a blast. And, great. However, at the end of the day, what we need to do is just have fun playing, and it doesn't matter really how you do it. You need to take the elite attitude, or not you, but a lot of people need to remove the elite attitude out of this hobby. Another hobby that I'm in that suffers from that are these guys here, RC Racing. I've been doing this for 26, 27 years now. And the race car side of the industry is about 5 to 10% of the entire industry. The rest is what we call backyard bashers. And those are people who just buy a vehicle to go out in their backyard and run. They'll never see a racetrack. They'll never turn a lap. They're just going out to have fun. And at the end of the day, this hobby is about having fun doing something you enjoy. It's going out and, playing Contra and seeing if you can beat it. So, back to this comment here. I had made, in this review, again, I put it at the front of the video. I don't have an Everdrive. I won't be showing Everdrives because I don't want someone, if that's what they're looking for, and it's probably an unpopular opinion among YouTubers. I don't know. I'm making generalizations there, but I don't want to waste someone's time watching my video if they're not going to get content that's important to them. I'll direct people towards other videos or other YouTubers that I know that will have that sort of content. Eugene Myers, EC Myers Vids, he tests out an Everdrive N8, I believe, in his review. So I'd recommend, if you want to find out, check out his video. What I try to do is bring things to the table that I think are important, and I'm sharing my opinion. And at the end of the day, like I say at the end of every video, these are just my opinions. They're not gospel. They're not 100% right. They're not 100% wrong either. But this one comment was, you were talking about Everdrives being emulation, and they're not. They're hardware emulation. They just are. You just don't like Everdrives. Maybe if Castlemania sent one, you would like one. I've seen a lot of this lately from a number of different people that throwing shade at Castlemania games for supporting so many YouTubers out there. You know what? I reached out to Ryan when I had fewer than 500 subscribers in a live chat that he was having with RGT85. Explained my situation. Hey, I'm just getting up and rolling. I see you do these promo codes for other channels. Would you be willing to do it for my channel here? It's just something that I wanted to do to provide more value to you, the viewers who come and watch my videos. I don't get a commission on anything. I don't get a stipend. I don't get paid for it. I don't. I do it because I wanted to give back, first of all, to the community. And second of all, as time has gone on, I've become friends with Ryan. And I've done things to help him out behind the scenes. He's done things to help me out. So there's a reason why you see references to Castlemania games in my videos. You also see references to live action games, my local store that I have here too. I wish Adrian would have some kind of an online presence so that he could do sell-through. But I know that there's been a couple of our viewers here that have gone on and called Adrian or emailed him, and they've bought games from him and accessories over the internet too. You know, that's part of being a good ambassador, and a good part of any hobby or community really is trying to help everybody grow and support each other, not tear each other down. You know, when I see people say that, it's a hollow and a very cheap swipe that really there's no place for it. I sent a tweet out last night as well, kind of discussing the fact that I think it's unique that people tend to crap all over clone hardware and take an elitist attitude with clone hardware and how clones are bad and they're bad for the hobby and this, that, and the other thing. But clone software or clone cartridges, and at the end of the day, an Everdrive is a clone cartridge. It is duplicating and replicating some of the hardware that was originally in an NES or a Super NES or a Genesis cartridge. And that's not a bad thing. It's a great way for people to go and expand their collection and their library quickly and easily. I just think it's a unique take that people are, well, you're not playing games in the right way, when, you know what, as long as you're playing, that's all that really matters. So I'm going to take a look at the comments quick, kind of see what people are saying here. I've been rambling on for 10 or 15 minutes. Andy, my son has an Everdrive for the Super Famicom cartridge and loves playing it. I do see your point, though. And that's the other thing is, I'm not saying don't use Everdrives. If you have them, great, enjoy them. But there's a reason why I don't have them. I don't have unlimited funds. I wish I did. But, you know, I have to pick and choose where I'm investing. And, you know, I do, you know, I'm blessed enough now where I have been able to get support from companies like ChargeN Pro, from Retrobit, from Gamerz Tek, from, you know, I've got some new ones that I hope to be announcing here. Sir, 1UP, with the 1UP cards, sent us a care package recently that, you know, it's one of those things of, it's not about getting free stuff. It's about trying to maximize what's being provided to you, our viewers. And if you're doing the YouTube thing for free stuff, get out now, because you're going to get disappointed. You're going to get frustrated, and quite honestly, it's the wrong motivation. Let's see. NES Addict, nothing offends me. Repros, clone systems, it's all good. That's the point, Jay, right there. I want to, can I highlight this comment? Can I pin this comment? No, I can't, darn it. But that's the exact point that I'm trying to make here is, as long as you're gaming, as long as you're having fun, check your ego at the door. I mean, it's not needed, it's not necessary, and at the end of the day, it doesn't help. I look at, you know, the RC world and the people that, I mean, I've been at events where people get in fist fights over toy car racing. I'll tell you a story here. This is probably 15 years old at this point. We have, so kind of like Twin Galaxies for the video game world, we have an organizing body in the world of RC. It's called ROAR, Radio Operated something racing. I forget what it is. Anyways, they're the ones that put on national championship events for RC racing. There's off-road racing, like for this one here. There's on-road racing for, we call them touring cars, or 12-scale cars that kind of look like Can-Am cars. And at one Roar regional event, two guys were up on the driver's stand, which is you stand up high to drive the cars and everything. You look down at the track. They just kept banging into each other on the track. And banging on the track came to yelling on the driver's stand, came to swearing on the driver's stand, came to pushing and shoving on the driver's stand, turning into a full-blown fight in the pits after the race was over. The police got called in, and they're completely objective. They know nothing about the hobby. So the officer looks at the one individual and says, "Let me get this straight. You, sir, have a toy car. Is that right?" "Yes, sir." And he turns to the other guy. "And you, sir, also have a toy car. Is that right?" "Well, yes, sir." "And they got into an accident on the toy car racetrack. Is that right?" "Well, yes, sir." Flipped his notebook closed, walked out, and just shook his head and said, "Grow up, guys." And at the end of the day, I think that's part of what we need to just not take this as seriously. I think as long as you're having fun, that is what's important here. I hope I've explained my position a little bit better. I don't own an Everdrive because I don't have a personal need for one. I don't think they're bad. I actually think they're really flipping cool. But there are other things that I've invested in for the channel for the future that I believe will make a bigger and longer lasting impact. NES clones, I don't know what more people can do with NES clones, quite honestly. They've done a lot of really great things. I've recently purchased an OSSC so that we can try to work more with original hardware and upscale and see what that's really like. Hey, Mr. Sujano. I've invested in more systems, more games. I mean, when I started the channel, I think I had between everything 35 to 50 total titles, and that's PS3, PS4, Wii U, Switch, and a handful of Famicom and Famicom Disk Systems games. I'm almost to 250 titles now, and I never expected that. Resources are not unlimited. I wish they were. But things will get there. And when I say things like, again, kind of wrapping things up here, recapping things. When I say things like I don't have an Everdrive at the beginning of a video, it's not to be blunt, it's not to shit on Everdrives. It's basically to point out if that's the pine top down, buddy. It's to let you, the viewer, know if that's the type of content that you're looking for. It's not something that I'm going to have here, but here are things that I am going to cover. And I hope that we do have pine top down. We have a storm coming in the area, and he is very nervous with storms. I try to provide unique perspective and outlooks at things that someone else may not have thought of. I don't know that I've seen anyone else do a review on the 8-Bit Boy that showed what it's like, or if it can even use the light gun going straight into it, using it on the display. Great. Piney, you bumped the thing and you disconnected it, so sorry that, yeah, it's frozen right now on there. Am I still coming through? Yeah, I'm coming through. So you guys can blame Pine Top on that one. Where was I going there? Silly dog. Completely lost my track of thought. Blame Pine Top. So that's basically why. I know things that we cover that others don't. I didn't see anyone else try a Game Genie yet. And also, I don't look at other people's reviews on products that I'm going to review before I do mine. I don't want to be tainted or accidentally say something, repeat something someone else said. I want to have a fresh perspective, and I want it to be my perspective itself. And I tend to be a bit of a parrot, so that's why I don't watch what other people do ahead of time. If you guys, we're always trying to raise money to help improve the channel. You see in the upper left-hand corner, Streamlabs goal to try to help support the purchase and offset the purchase a little bit of the OSSC. If we want to start a fundraiser and go towards getting Everdrive for the channel, we can do that. This is what you guys want to see. And it's just at this time, I can't justify the cost. And I really think that if we were to go down the Everdrive path, I'd have to buy several for each system because there are so many different variants out there. Just you can't make a blanket statement of, yes, this one works, this one on this system, or this one doesn't work on this system, because there are compatibility issues depending on which version you go with. That being said, I do want to apologize to everyone. I have been really busy with work lately. I wanted to get the 3 reviews of the 3 Gamerz Tek systems that we unboxed last week done. It's just we bought our competition essentially at work, and I've been working super long hours. I was supposed to take a vacation day today, and I ended up having to go into work. I'm going to be filming this afternoon and tonight quite a bit, and most of tomorrow. This weekend, I will be at the Midwest Gaming Expo in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, my hometown, and we'll definitely be doing some footage from there as well. I've got the Steadicam and everything ready to rock and roll. Andy, it happens. You know, I've seen a lot of people where, I forget what it was one of the comments where they missed that I had pointed that out in there. I know where it is. Give me a second. Oh, the artifacting issue that I ran into with Castlevania 3. I mentioned in the video itself that I had the same issue on my toaster and on my front and on my top loader, and people wanted to blame the system right away. No, this is actually one where on real hardware it's doing the same thing. So it's in my cartridge itself. I've got to replace the cartridge. But it goes back to the preconceived notions that people, you know, clone hardware bad. And I think as long, again, as we're playing and having fun, that is what it's all about. Let's see, Mr. Sujano, no apologies needed. I completely understand what you're saying about the Everdrive. See, if a Canadian can get it, I had to take the shot, dude. I had to. If you guys haven't done so, if you are here, make sure you check out Chit Chat Gaming's channel, NES Addict, Mr. Sujano's channels. These guys all have amazing content out there. They're great people, and even Pine Top, I think, would like to go play. Would you like to go play with Mr. Sujano in Canada? Hey, John, how you doing? That is basically what's been going on, and we'll have this archived in a little bit. It's going to take a while to process, and I may actually do some more live streaming tonight. I've been crispy burnt this whole week, so I need to relax a little bit. But if you want, you can always help out the channel. We do have the in the upper left-hand corner, and the link is in the description for how to contribute to our Streamlabs page. You can help us up on PayPal and, of course, on Patreon, too. You know, giving this video a like and a thumbs up always helps it in the eyes of YouTube to help get the word out. And it's one of those things, I'm getting to be a broken record here. Just have fun. You know, one of my taglines when I used to do the podcast and the videos for the company I work for was go out and have some fun with hobbies. And I think I'm going to try to bring that back in some form for the videos here, because I want you just to go out and have fun with gaming, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. If you've got any questions, if you're seeing this after the fact, make sure you leave a comment down below. Send me an email, rocksolidmail@gmail.com. You can go ahead to visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/rocksolidproductions. Up on Patreon, patreon.com/rocksolid, and of course on Twitter @rocksolidstudios. Little secret, the reason why that's Rock Solid Studios versus Rock Solid Productions, there's a character limit on basically how long you can have your Twitter handle. So that's why that is like that. So thank you guys for watching and stopping by. Thanks for the feedback. I do appreciate it. I bear no ill will towards anybody whatsoever. It's okay to disagree. You don't have to have the same opinion I do, and I don't have to have the same opinion you do. And you know what? That's what makes this fun. Different perspectives, different points of view, and everybody's going to look at things just a little bit different, and that's a great thing. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for joining me on the live stream. I'm going to actually try to do more lunchtime live streams within the next month or so. Keep an eye peeled. Twitter and Facebook, probably the two easiest ways to keep track of that. Like I mentioned, I'm supposed to be off today for vacation. I'm leaving here in just a moment. I have a lunch obligation that I have to go to. So, again, Thank you, Mr. Sajano. Check out his page. Check out Chit Chat Gaming's page. Check out the NES Addict. I'm still thinking that he might be the YouTube equivalent of Billy Mitchell, but he claims that he's finally beaten Double Dragon here. You'll want to check him out, too. Thanks for watching. Gosh, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, no, that's Bob and Brian in Milwaukee. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will talk to you all. Keep an eye on Twitter. Like I say, I may stream tonight. I'll catch you later, everyone.